a role that I wasn't able to do or that I passed up that I wish I had been able to do? Well, I'm not somebody who spends a lot of time dwelling in the past or thinking about like missed opportunities. That's just not how I'm wired. And I think probably if I had taken any roles along the way, I wouldn't have wound up on Supernatural, and I wouldn't be here right now. So I don't wish that I had done any particular jobs. That said, there was one that got away that I have reflected on quite a few times, and it comes with a story. So settle in, please. Those of you who have heard me tell this story before, you may check your social media now. So I think I was 24, 25. I was relatively new to Los Angeles, and I got a call from my agent that they were looking for the new Anakin Skywalker for Star Wars. And I went in and I did an interview with the casting director. They didn't give you any material to audition with, it was just an interview. We talked for like half an hour. She seemed to think I was interested. And a few weeks later, I got a call from my agent, and he said, they want you to go up to Skywalker Ranch to meet with George Lucas, and it's down to you and a handful of other guys now for the role of Anakin Skywalker. And this is in the second prequel, whatever. And my agent said, but they said you can't tell anyone. At this point, it was like front page of entertainment magazines. Who was in consideration for the Anakin Skywalker role? There's a lot of intrigue around it. And to put the fear of God in me, they said they had cast in the previous movie, the one with like the little kid, they had cast their first choice for Anakin Skywalker. He had told somebody that he got the part, they fired him, and the kid that was in the movie was their second choice. So I wasn't allowed to tell anyone. I wasn't even allowed to tell the driver of the car who was picking me up at the San Francisco airport and driving me 2 hours north to Skywalker Ranch why I was going to Skywalker Ranch. So I got there. I didn't tell the driver where I was going. I didn't tell anyone. The only person that knew was my agent. And I was driving, got up there early, and then I was like, I had some time to kill, so I went for a walk and was like walking in the woods and looking at all of these, like the beautiful grounds. It's like this sprawling acreage. There's a big llama farm right next door, so I was like trying to feed the llamas through this fence. And finally I went in and I met with George Lucas, and I got to play with Luke Skywalker's lightsaber, like the actual one that had been used in the movies. And I was just like trembling with excitement the whole time. It was just the coolest thing. And I talked to George Lucas for like an hour. The guy has no social skills. And then I was done. I had some time to kill before my flight back home, and so I had the driver take me into the Haight District in San Francisco. It was about an hour and a half drive back into San Francisco. And along the drive, I pulled out my phone and I was going to call my best friend just because I just had to tell someone. And I was like, Misha, don't fuck this up. Don't, because just don't tell. Just don't tell anyone. But then I got into San Francisco and I went to this pizza place and I went up to the counter and there was this like pimply faced teenager behind the counter. And I got a slice of pizza and I said, hey man, I just have to tell somebody, I'm sorry. I was just auditioning for a role of Anakin Skywalker. I was in George Lucas's office. I was playing with Luke Skywalker's actual lightsaber from the Star Wars movies. And he was like, no way! That's amazing, man. You know, my cousin is Natalie Portman. My parents own the llama farm right next to Skywalker Ranch. And then he said, what's your name? And I said, Misha Collins. I was in shock. He was literally the last person in the world I should have told. And it was a random stranger. I started shaking, like I turned pale, started sweating. I walked a half a block away and then I walked back in and I was like, please don't tell anybody that I did it. It's the most pathetic heartbreaking moment. I'm sure that's not why I didn't get the part, but it was a real disaster. Thank you for bringing up that shit memory.